It is 8 p.m. in the Gambia, and this is QTV News with Marietta Sidibe. Coming up in our headlines, Gambian women converge for a two-day meeting in Janjanbureh to discuss and address issues affecting women. Stakeholders meet to discuss on the strengths, weaknesses, and challenges in the Gambia's education sector. And the Youth Empowerment Project, YEP, hands over $26 million worth of agro-processing equipment. Those were our headlines, and now the news in detail. The Office of the Inspector General of Police has noticed with deep concern that some youths are in the business of dangerous car racing within Kanifing and its surrounding areas. In a press release issued by the police spokesperson ASP Lamin Jai, it has been discovered that most of the youth use parents' vehicles and some rent vehicles from car rental services. Therefore, the police says all the vehicle owners, parents, and car rental services must take notice and proper care to ensure vehicles are not used for such purposes, as most are without valid driver's license. On Friday, 5th October 2018, the Gambia Police Force, through its mobile traffic unit, during a patrol exercise, arrested 6 individuals in connection to such dangerous driving activities, the release added. The practice of car racing, according to the police, amounts to serious cases of dangerous driving, and police must desist from such with immediate effect as environment for such activities is currently not available. However, the police says the Office of the IGP is not against the development of any form of sports, provided suitable environment is created for such sports absent danger. Furthermore, to ensure general security and public safety, the Gambia Police Force will no longer allow such activities, the release ended. Gambian women during the weekend converged for a two-day meeting in Janjanbureh to discuss and address issues affecting women. Convened by the National Women's Council in collaboration with Women's Bureau, the 4th Quarter National Women's Council meeting was aimed at reflecting on their performances and to finalize the National Action Plan. Momodu Gajaga was there, and he now reports.
Women form more than 50% of the Gambia's population, but are grossly underrepresented in the different walks of life. They have very little decision-making powers, even regarding their health and that of their children. This has contributed to the high infant mortality rate of 90 deaths per 1,000 live births, one of the highest in the sub-region. Like other women in the sub-region, Gambian women engage in formal and informal employment, domestic chores, and community work. The council was created by an Act of Parliament in 1980 to serve as an advisory body to the government on women's issues such as gender equality and women's rights, as well as to enhance the economic and social growth of women in the Gambia, especially rural women. The empowerment and status of women in the Gambia and the improvement of their political, social, economic, and health status is a matter of concern to individuals, government, and non-governmental organizations. It is because of these realities that the National Women Council came together for a two-day forum in order to address some of these challenges facing women. Ami Fabure, chairperson of the National Women's Council, said she is committed to improving the living standards of the country's women. She also urged her fellow councillors to work collectively to achieve success.
Our cooperation and the understanding as councillors will contribute and strengthen our aspirations. Without that understanding, we cannot move forward. We should also attach great importance to our women's welfare and capacity enhancement to operate within the framework of national gender policy. The Women's Bureau and ourselves, we have a gender policy, and that document is a national document for the women. It has to be our working tool. Even the action plan we are developing, some of the strategies are from the gender policy.
Fabure, however, reiterated the importance of strengthening peace-building mechanisms and avoid conflict. The responsibility of the National Women's Council is to advise the government on women's matters. In order to change the lives of women, especially those in the rural areas, for the better, will require a strong political will.
It is also important to know the structure of government as councillors. And I have also seen that the 3 arms of government, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And I think as we walk through these 3 days, you will know a lot about all these things.
Governor of the Central River Region, Suleiman Bari, said politics is over for the women councillors and they need to work for the betterment of their constituencies.
You have now entered a new season, and that new season, there is only one word that drives that new season, and that is performance. The only reason, there is only one reason why your people elected you to this position is to support them. And the only way to support them is for you to perform your duties very, very effectively. So like I said, politics season is over, and what season has started is performance.
Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Gambia Ports Authority Monday donated food items to Armitage Senior Secondary School at a ceremony held at the GPA headquarters in Banjul. GPA officials say the donation is part of the institution's corporate social responsibilities. The donation, as Ansumana Esonasi reports, is expected to address the food shortage problems at the boarding school.
Deputy Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, Alaji Cherno Sise, said the donation of the food items is part of efforts by the GPA to fulfill its corporate social responsibilities. He said the GPA is always prepared to offer support in their drive to complementing government's effort, especially in the education sector.
Well, the GPA is no stranger to Armitage High School. Armitage being one of the first beneficiaries of OPES and through the upgrading of their science laboratory. Actually, I was privileged one time to be even a guest speaker on behalf of the Managing Director in one of your school passing outs. So on behalf of the Managing Director, I wish to hand over to the chairperson and the Armitage board the following items: 50 bags of rice, 10 bags of sugar, 25 bags of flour, 20 bags of onions, 15 drums of oil, 10 crates of chicken, 10 crates of tomato paste. We hope that it will go a long way in alleviating the problems at Armitage High School. On behalf of the management and staff of the GPA, Madam Chairperson, these are the items that we are donating to you.
Receiving the donated items on behalf of the school, the chairperson of Armitage Board of Governors, Amikole Mbai, thanked the GPA for extending support to the school. She said the donation is timely and will go a long way in improving the conditions of the students.
Wish on behalf of the students of Armitage Senior Secondary School to thank you for this generous donation. It has come at a time when we are discussing and trying to review or develop strategies on moving the school forward. We are all aware of the critical situation the school has been in the past, and providing us with such items will definitely go a long way in alleviating some of the problems as already highlighted by Mr. Sise. The items donated were highly appreciated, and as I said, they will go a long way, and we will also make sure that they are maximally utilized.
The principal of Armitage Senior Secondary School, Sekuna CB, expressed gratitude to the GPA for the timely intervention. The school, according to him, is faced with numerous challenges, and key among them is food shortage.
I think first and foremost, I need to thank GPA for this magnificent gesture in fulfilling their corporate social responsibility. Then this would go a long way in helping us tackle the food issues that we have in the school. Provision of food is not enough, but the standard and the quality of food is what we are concerned. Because if you want the children to achieve the required, to realize their potential, they need to have a balanced meal. And government alone cannot provide us, though the support is coming, but the required nutrients of the food may be lacking without the support from other organizations or institutions.
For QTV News, I am Ansumana Esonyasi.
A one-day education forum on the theme Strength, Weaknesses and Challenges Inherent in the Gambian Basic and Secondary Education System was held on Saturday at the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute. The forum was organized by the Unity Platform for Inclusive Development, a civil society organization, and was aimed at encouraging proposals from stakeholders for a systemic and quality education. Issa Jallo reports.
Organizers of the Education Forum hope to come up with suggestions and recommendations that would be presented to the government to review and act on. The discussions came on the heels of the poor results of the last senior secondary school exams that triggered renewed debate about the quality of the Gambia's education system. The day's forum brought together eminent scholars in education, discussing what needs to be done to ensure schools perform to the desired standards. Honorable Sidia Jatta, National Assembly member for Woolly West, says the previous education system was much better than the current one. He disclosed that 7 local languages are currently being taught as pilot in schools and stressed the importance of children beginning their education in their own dialect. Honorable Jatta said it was scientifically proven that a child that begins education in their own language does better than those that didn't. Honorable Jatta also spoke about the congestions of classrooms as a contributing factor to the decline of the quality of education.
Big numbers in schools. Schools are just developing inwardly. They are expanding inwardly. You have big numbers in every class. The only class which has very few students, let's say about 50, is arts class. The rest are all 70, 80, 70, 80. Even in the university, you hardly have a class of 80. My class in the university, we were 45. So that's one big problem. 2, teachers. You have morning session and you have afternoon session. The same teacher is going to teach mathematics in the morning and mathematics in the afternoon. He is a human being. She is a human being. If the output is good in the morning, the output is not going to be comparatively good in the afternoon.
Professor Abdullah Sen, in his intervention, said the dismal performance was due to largely a systemic problem. He said the education system failed the students and it was not suited to respond to the needs of students and the country. Alhaji Badarawai Jallo, a retired educationist, said political and foreign interferences hampered the operation of education policies. Mr. Jallo criticized the mass promotions in schools and parents for not showing more interest in children's education.
The World Bank is one of the major problems. If the World Bank want to help the education system, first they should ask, what do we want as a nation? But not asking us to do what they want because they have the money. That's one problem with our education system. But the other issues that we are responsible for not enhancing the quality of education in this country. Now we are not making efforts to make sure that at least we provide the quality from the primary school. Let me tell you today, go out anywhere and ask, what's wrong? Grade 1 to grade 6, 65% by random statistics, our students cannot read. They cannot spell. You move those students up to grade 7, they cannot read. Transit to grade 10, 11, 12, they cannot read. They are always incapable of answering the worst questions, contributing a lot into these serious failures.
Dr. Adam Asala said in the last administration, more schools were built and more children were enrolled, but very little attention was given to quality education. He observed that the child material and child-teacher ratios in schools are very low. Dr. Burang Jai, who moderated the forum, opined that standards started falling since the abolition of the common entrance exams and the introduction of the so-called free education. Yadikun Jai Eribo of Fawigam said the problem our education system is facing started a long time ago. She questioned the quality of teachers in the schools and said that too contributed to the poor quality of education. Other speakers include Fatou Kine Jan Kantara, lecturer at the University of the Gambia, and the panel answered questions from the audience. Isa Jallo for QTV News.
The Youth Empowerment Project, YEP, under its Value Addition Development Chain component, on Monday handed over agro-processing equipment valued over $26 million to 14 beneficiary companies at a ceremony in Birkama Fulakunda to enhance productivity. Ahmad P. Jallo reports.
In its efforts to address the root causes of irregular migration, the Youth Empowerment Project on Monday handed over agro-processing equipment worth over $26 million to 14 beneficiary companies. The project supports youth employment and entrepreneurship and is funded by the European Union Emergency Trust Fund for Africa and implemented by the International Trade Center. The equipment includes granite press making machines, granite powder making machines, granite roasting machines, flour milling machines, rice grader, distoners, vacuum packaging machines and materials, and 62 kVA backup generators. The YEP project manager, Raymond Mosa, said the support is part of the project's strategies to foster private sector-led growth and job creation through value additions. He maintained that micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises are the main beneficiaries as they are at the forefront of creating jobs.
We have two tracks. We have a track under which we provide support directly to young entrepreneurs, to young Gambians, to become more employable and start their own businesses. And we have a second track where we work with micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And it's under this second track where we are providing this very important support to improve the productive capacities of the different companies.
Representing the European Union, Luca Plazzato highlighted the importance of rural development to provide effective alternatives to irregular migration. He added that the intervention provides concrete revenue-generating activities for young Gambians by engaging them in product transformations and value-added farming.
Today we are happy to see that $26 million worth of agro-processing machines and material funded by the European Union will go towards creating over 900 jobs in the Gambia. This ensures we work together to reach the ambitious goal shared by Juncker.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Bintu Jaite and Baranyang thanked the YEP project and the European Union for the support and commended the government of the Gambia for creating the enabling environment for the private sector to operate freely.
I will first of all thank the government of the Gambia for creating the enabling environment for both the donors and the citizens to come together for a better and fruitful collaboration. I will also thank the European Union for providing the funds for this wonderful and meaningful concept.
Other speakers included Abdullah Jammeh of the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, and Lamin Kamara of the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Before we end this bulletin, we recap our main headlines. Gambian women during the weekend converged for a two-day meeting in Janjang Bure to discuss and address issues affecting women. Convened by the National Women's Council in collaboration with Women's Bureau, the fourth quarter National Women's Council meeting was aimed at reflecting on their performances and to finalize the National Action Plan. A one-day education forum on the theme, Strengths, Weaknesses and Challenges Inherent in the Gambian Basic and Secondary Education System, was held on Saturday at the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute. The forum was organized by the Unity Platform for Inclusive Development, a civil society organization, and was aimed at encouraging proposals from stakeholders for a systemic and quality education. The Youth Empowerment Project YEP, under its value addition development chain component, on Monday handed over agro-processing equipment valued over $26 million to 14 beneficiary companies at a ceremony in Birkama Fulakunda to enhance productivity. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news.